Okay. This is going to be a really deep and personal podcast episode, and I hope it gets to the right people that need to hear it. Comment down below if you're going through removing people out of your life that may not belong, or if you're contemplating removing some people out of your life. I decided to make this podcast episode because I actually did a video of me in real time crying like a little bitch, and I just don't feel like posting myself crying like bad bitches do cry, but there's no need to see all that. I feel like I can deliver this message better, not crying. So here we are. How to deal with people that don't belong in your life. This is gonna be a series, so definitely check out the playlist, the podcast playlist that lists all of the podcasts in order, so you don't have to miss out on any of the topic points of this discussion. And today I just wanted to get into people in general and energies. I feel like we all have intuition. Some are more intuitive than others, but we all have an intuition. And for me personally, I believe that your intuition is higher source speaking to you. Whether that be God, the universe, your highest self, your ancestors, your deities, whoever it may be. It's something of higher good that is speaking to you in a way where there's no evidence, but it's just an inner knowing. And from my experience, when I don't listen to it, I always regret it. And when I do listen to it, even if it makes no sense, I'm always right. I can confidently say I am always right when it comes to my intuition. Spot on. I'm damn near I forgot the word for it. I'm damn near clairvoyant. It's like a word for those that can literally feel how other people are feeling without them actually showing how they're feeling. You can sense how they're feeling even if they're hiding it. I'm that. My intuition can sense when someone's hiding something from me. My intuition can usually sense if someone likes me. My intuition can sense if someone secretly hates me, if someone's envious of me. My intuition can secretly sense if someone is uncomfortable by me or is triggered by me, even if that person isn't showing any signs of liking me, any signs of, hating me. I can feel it, and I'm usually always right. It's kind of scary. And the same can apply to you. It's just I personally practice listening to my intuition. I think it was 2021, my New Year's resolution was to listen more to my intuition, because I got tired of not listening to it and it backfiring, and me thinking back to myself damn it, I wish I would have listened to my intuition. And thinking about how if I would have just listened to my intuition, I would have been in a better place. I could have prevented certain circumstances if I just would have listened to myself. If you're not used to listening to yourself, if you're not used to that inner knowing, it's probably not as strong as those that practice listening to themselves. And it's really difficult to know that if you're not looking for that, if you're looking for other people's inner knowing, if you're looking for other people's opinions, how other people feel about the situation. Have you ever seen a scary movie where there's that one person that just doesn't feel right, and they're just you guys, let's just go home, or they're trying to leave, they just don't feel like doing it, they feel a weird feeling, they feel like something bad is gonna happen, and then there's those friends that's oh no, it's not that bad, don't be silly, and then they do that thing that their intuition is telling them not to do, their intuition is telling them to leave, and they end up dying with those people that were just oh no, it's fine. It's because those people weren't paying attention to their intuition. That person heard their intuition, and instead of acting on it, usually that person ends up dying because they didn't listen to their intuition. And it doesn't have to be as deep as that, but that's a really big example, and that happens in real life. That happens a lot in real life. I actually had a person recently tell me about how his daughter got in a car accident, and it was a work trip where they had to travel, and there was this new girl to the job, and she really didn't want to come, and his daughter was come on, you need to get out more, and she was just yeah, no, but I just don't feel like it today, it just doesn't feel right, and she just really didn't want to go, but his daughter convinced that girl to go, and it was three of them. It was his daughter, and then a worker in the front seat, and the person that didn't want to go was in the back seat. And they ended up getting in a car accident during that road trip. And everyone survived but the girl in the back seat who didn't even want to go in the first place. And now his daughter has survivor's remorse. It's a horrible, horrible situation. I pray for them, and God rest her soul. Like, rest in peace for that person that died. But it's just thinking about that scenario just reminds me of like how your intuition can literally save you from death. And sometimes it's stronger in those situations than normal, than like the smaller situations, but the more you listen to it, the better you can hear it, even in like the situations that aren't really life or death, just a matter of preventing certain things from happening, you know, really calling things before it happens and making sure that they don't happen, or just like catching things and being ahead of the game. Like, it's kind of like a sixth sense. But what I'm getting to here is your intuition can tell if someone is good for you or bad for you. Like, intuitively, you know if someone is draining you and if someone's not good for you. You're just choosing not to acknowledge that. And just because you're choosing not to acknowledge that, and just because you're choosing not to do anything about that, doesn't change the fact that it's a fact that they are taking energy from you and they're not good for you. Energy rubs off on people. Every exchange is an energy exchange, small or big. For those of you who have worked customer service, you've experienced that one customer that came in like super angry, super snotty. They weren't trying to have it before you even gave it to them. Like, they're just being mean to you for no reason, you know, giving you the side eye, just all types of ick. And once the exchange is over, now you're mad, now you're pissed. They ruined your mood. That's an example of how quick, how simple being around someone can literally change your mood. It doesn't have to be as intense as like someone being super rude to you and you get mad. Sometimes it's like someone is always complaining and is always negative and it's always making the wrong choices and complaining about it. And as much as you keep giving them the solutions, they're just continuously making the wrong choices and complaining about it. And you try to give them advice again, hoping that you'll change them, and they don't take it and they complain about it. And then like you give them some more advice and they complain about it, and you're just like, now you're starting to feel bad because you love this person and they're draining you. Them being drained is draining you. Even if you don't know it, it is sometimes draining you. And yeah, you can influence that person, but that person can be low-key influencing you and taking away from you if they're taking your energy in a negative way. If it's an uneven energy exchange. If it's more take than give. If it's, you know, talking to a wall. A part of listening to your intuition is being aware of how you feel. Being aware of your emotions and what changes those emotions. How do you feel after exchanging with certain people, after spending time with certain people? Really pay attention to that, because that's a really big clue on whether or not they're good for you in your life. No matter how much love you may have for someone or how much love they have for you, it doesn't excuse the fact that that person may not be good for you, may not be a good fit in your life. Usually throughout the day, let's say I get sad, even if I know I'm sad or if I'm mad, if I have an idea why I'm mad or sad, I'll still journal about it, because sometimes I won't even be aware of like what triggered the sadness or madness. I'll just know like in the moment I'm sad or mad, and I won't even know what caused it until I actually take time to really think like, why am I feeling this way? What made me, oh yeah, that's right, like this one thing reminded me of someone that I miss, someone that isn't in my life anymore. That's why I'm so sad. That's what it is. Be aware of your feelings and reflect on them, because through reflecting on them, you can learn a little bit more about them to really change your mood and get in a better mood. And then in terms of the way you feel when you're around certain people, reflect on that. Reflect on, you know, why you feel like they're not good for you. Reflect on how you feel at the end of hanging out with them and why you might feel that way after hanging out with them, after, you know, an energy exchange with those certain people. It could be a solid reason, but if you actually reflect, sometimes it's like you're triggered by people because they're doing something that you thought you couldn't do. And like their existence literally is just a reminder of how you're wrong. They trigger you because they're the complete opposite of you. Like Some of y'all just don't like certain energies and don't feel good around certain people because they just highlight your insecurities and your demons. That's not always the case, but through reflecting you can really see like, okay, is this person good for me, or do I just like not like that person, you know? Because some people get the two confused. If you reflect on how you feel after, you know, an energy exchange, after hanging out with someone, and you don't feel good, and you reflect and there's actually solid reasons, like this person is a bad person, you know, I don't agree with a lot of the things that they're doing, you know, not moral, this person, you know, makes me feel like I am silly for believing the things that I believe, this person invalidates my feelings, ignores how I feel, this person's always complaining, always negative. Yeah, it might not be good for you. That is something that isn't good for you. You know, someone that takes advantage of you, someone that doesn't respect you, someone that talks behind your back, someone who's not honest with you, someone that's just using you, someone who is not thinking of your higher good, like doesn't really care about you. It's up to you and only you. If you want to allow yourself to deal with that type of person that does those things to you, that treats you that way. I truly feel that once you remove the wrong people in your life, you make room for the right people in your life. Once you value yourself, you value your time, and you value your energy, you're going to attract other people that also value their time and their energy and themselves, and they're gonna value you and your energy and your time. And you know, something I've learned through going through a lot of friendships is people can only love you as much as they love themselves. Let me repeat that for the people in the back, for y'all on your phone that aren't really paying fully attention to this video, you know, you're scrolling through TikTok. Let me just say that one more time. People can only love you as much as they love themselves. So if you see someone exemplifying that they don't put themselves first, and they're not taking care of themselves, and they're not loving themselves in a capacity that you do, how can you expect that person to love you as much as you need? Because they can't even give that love to themselves. You have to accept people as they are. You can bring it to their awareness of what's going on, but changing isn't something a lot of people choose to do because change is uncomfortable and it's scary. And if you bring it up to them and they don't change, they just simply don't want to. And you have to accept people as they are. You have to accept people as they are. And ask yourself, fits in this new chapter of your life. If that's someone that's low-key holding you back, that has you second guessing, that really only puts you in a lower vibration, it's keeping you the same, someone that makes you feel less, it's not worth it. It really isn't. I just want to also say that it's normal to like grow out of friendships, grow out of relationships, and intuitively know if you've grown out of a friendship, a relationship, or maybe you've grown out of not even just romantic relationship, but relationship with a family member even. You know, becoming an adult and everything, it's like you start to see things that you didn't see as a kid. And it's like really up to you if you're gonna like entertain bullshit that you entertain as a child once you become an adult. And it's just intuitively, you know what's for you and you know what's not. And I really challenge you to really start listening to it. Even if it's something as small as grab that book that you haven't read it, but you got as a gift. If your intuition's like, grab that book, grab that book. It doesn't have to be something like life or death or how does this person feel about me. Those are like the bigger things that you would have to like have practice your intuition a little bit more to see. Or maybe, I mean, for some it just comes naturally, like me. No, but seriously, like practice listening to your intuition. Practice listening to your inner knowing, because it'll guide you to where you do belong. And you just really have to listen to that if you want to get to where you want to go. If you hang out with the wrong kind of people, you can end up in a wrong destination. Even if you're someone that's stern in who you are, you have no idea how much energy can rub off and people's personality traits can rub off, and just it's scary out here. It even happens for TV. If you watch a certain show too much, like you'll develop one of the characters' mannerisms by accident. Like this shit is real. Have you ever dated and then that person you're dating, you started to like accidentally pick up their mannerisms and like say their little sayings and everything. Or you had a friend that you got close with and now you're saying things that they say. You don't even have to think about it. It just like downloads into your own vocabulary because that's how much you hang with them. That is how energy is. You know, if that person's miserable, you're hanging out with them, misery loves company. You may be doing fine right now, but hey, you just keep on letting them suck that energy out of you. And tell me how you're feeling in 5 years. Something that I want you to take away from this is to really reflect on how do you feel around certain people, like after hanging out with certain people, family or friends, how do you feel, and reflect why do you feel that way. If you want, bring it to their attention and see if there's something that can be done. But if that person's exemplifying that there isn't anything to be done, the only thing that can be done is for you to make a decision on whether or not you want to keep entertaining certain people that bring down your energy, that aren't good for you.